Okay, greetings, humans. Here we are on day 29, November 12th, 2025, of the launch of the IC solution. And what is the Oh, first, let's get to the important stuff. Fred over here, he's dying. His friend, there was two branches going out before, fully died. And now there's one. And see how these guys, I'm secretly flexing. These guys are starting to die. It's going up, and the yellow is spreading. I can't keep a plant alive. Fortunately, I can keep humans alive. And that's what I'm trying to do by keeping myself alive. First of all, when I quit drinking, uh, 9 years ago, I was on a direct path to death. I was definitely going to die until I figured out how to quit drinking. And that is with the IC solution, which involves the IC, which is your instinctual core, and the IC perspective. And basically, um, what this video is about is me having my IC investigation meetup. And that's what we, in the IC solution, to keep ourselves accountable, we come to a meeting every day, talk about what the things we're tracking, talk about how we're separating from our instinctual core. And our instinctual core, good question. What the hell is the instinctual core? Let me share my screen with you. And that's kind of in the beginning of a meeting when we have some newbies like all you billions of people watching this video. And by the way, there's lots of videos to explain what the instinctual core is and what the IC solution is. But this is just an accountability meeting, which I promised to have this up every day until we start having the actual IC meetings. When I start figuring out how to get people to come, I don't want to do that by individually contacting people. I want to do that by getting a lot of videos out there that can reach a whole bunch of people. So I have this kind of like system in place for growth rather than working with a few people. Alexa, stop. You know you shouldn't interrupt during a meeting, but I love you all the same. But yeah, I want to have a kind of this growth mechanism in place where I know how to make videos. I know how to make videos that actually get views and get subs and get people coming to the website to start working the IC solution for themselves. Okay, so I'm totally okay with me being in the only one in the meeting for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Around 3 months is when I expect I'll start having some videos with getting some hits. And so yeah, totally cool with no one yet. It's more important that I have this marketing generation thing in place where we can have the word spreading. So in the meantime, I'm practicing how to talk to the camera because when I started this on day 0, I had no idea how to talk to the camera. But I'm telling you what the instinctual core is. And basically at the very heart of that is this simple little guy here. Okay. We're born with this perspective that our brain, we are everything that comes out of our brain. All these thoughts, all the emotions, especially all those toxic ass emotions and those crazy ass thoughts like, do I have a vagina? Okay. I stole that one from Jerry. No, it was in a great episode of Rick and Morty where uh, Jerry Smith was talking about his random thoughts is, I wonder what it would be like to have a vagina. And there's a smudge on the screen there. I do wonder what it would be like to have a vagina. But I don't. Alas, and I probably won't ever. So anyways, all those crazy thoughts, all the crazy toxic emotions are our own. And when I was under that assumption, even though I knew about cognitive behavioral therapy, where it says, "Don't worry, don't listen to your brain," I'm like, "Yeah, but it's my brain. What else would be controlling it?" So I would have to go to a therapist, and they tell me, "No, that's not really your thoughts. Fun thoughts like I'm really good at going to a bar and getting drunk." Um, so but there was this time when I was like, okay, I really got to stop drinking because once I picked up a bottle, I could not stop drinking 24/7 vodka, cheap vodka. I have it with me every second. I couldn't control it at all. and I wanted nothing more in my life than to stop drinking. And so I was this guy over here. I never want to drink again. Please don't let me put a bottle please don't let me put a bottle to my mouth again, because I know I will continue to drink until I basically have to check myself into a detox or die. And then there was this other side of my brain saying, drink, 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 drink. You're a piece of shit. You're a loser. And the only way to get over that and forget all about that is to drink. Now drink, drink, drink 7,000 times a day about. You know, I counted about 7,000 times. Drink, 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 drink. It was like, think about if you happened to be a male when you were 16, a straight male. When you were 16, you thought about vagina about 7,000 times a day. That's the way it was with with alcohol, except with vagina, and you're 16, most of you can't do anything about that. Not actual ones anyway, pornography. Should I be talking about this? Is this too much information? But with alcohol, when your brain tells you to get alcohol 7,000 times a day, um, and it starts screaming it louder and louder and louder, eventually you have to give in. Willpower will fail. That is a proven fact. Okay. And that's the default perspective of the human. Now, one day on November 24th, 2025, it hit me. The IC perspective. There is so much going on in my subconscious that I didn't put there. What did put it there? It's that instinctual primitive brain that you've heard about, uh, that was made for the world, a prehistoric world. This fight or flight and feed and fuck, and that does all that. But we don't really have a psychology, a thought process to start putting that into perspective. And that's what the IC solution is. And I do not want to call it a brain, because when you call it a brain, then it kind of becomes our brain. Rather, the instinctual core is more than that, because it has a set of rules, a set of laws to keep you alive, an agenda, a culmination of all those survival instincts, right? And it uses the lowest part of your brain. So it basically has an agenda and has its own brain, all out of your conscious. 99% of it is out of your conscious awareness, that's controlling you in all sorts of ways. And I'm like thinking, if it's all 99% out of my out of my conscious awareness, it isn't even me at all. And it's not just another brain that happens to be my brain, it's a separate intelligent entity in my head. And when I realized that, I'm like, holy shit, I've been paying attention to something else. And I no longer had to fight against myself, because I knew my overriding decision is I am never going to drink again. And there was something else inside of me, something that was there for my survival, but had it all wrong. And I could go on a diatribe of all the different reasons why drinking alcohol, uh, from its perspective, was helping me to survive. Although, of course, I knew it was going to kill me. And so from then on, I was like, okay, I've got this separate intelligence inside of my head, so it's no longer me, and I know when I'm thinking my overriding decision, never drink again. So anything from then on that said go get a drink, go get a drink, I said nope. Sorry, little buddy. Sorry, little IC. I'm gonna pat it on the head here. Sorry, little buddy. That's not helping us stay alive. And then the IC started to see, oh my gosh, he's figuring out a way to stay alive all on his own. He doesn't need me, and it just quieted down. And that 7,000 requests, those 7,000 demands each day for a drink, are now down to, I don't know, one a week, which I can quickly say, and it's really never gets above a level where I would ever even contemplate getting a drink. Yeah, but it's not 100% gone. Like occasionally I'll have a drink. It's not like I'm having a drink going out and party. It's like, oh shit, I picked up a drink again and I'm checking into a detox. Terrible nightmares. Um, yeah. So kind of went into over explanation there, but let me it's not just about quitting drinking. It's about taking control of any part of your life that you have been unable to. And whenever you're starting, and that's what we call your overriding decisions. And when you have your look, do you see what I just did? I look at myself in the corner as if I'm talking to myself. I got to remember it's you camera. You're the one I'm talking to. You're the one that I want. You're the one that I want. You're the only one I want. Ooh, 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 the one I need. Oh, yes, indeed. Back to my point, separating from my instinctual core. Check it out. I've reached 50% on the forecasted progress, where my personal evaluation's at 46. 50% puts me to the next plateau, the next badge of honor. I am now a field investigator in one of my subjects. I'm still a junior agent and everything else, but officially, I'm only field investigator because that's when the IC Gold Tracker was implemented, and I started using it on October 15th. And it has become so incredibly helpful to remind me of the things that I'm trying to do to keep me on track, because I've been living the IC solution, for 8 years now. But now that I've got this tracker where I can officially watch and do radars to help retrain my instinctual core and do roars to help me reactivate my human side, I'm just living on such a higher plane. I'm making that great life flip. Let me show you what the great life flip is. I got Danny Rojas. I did a video about Jamie Tart and Danny Rojas. Jamie Tart lives a life forced by his instinctual core, and Danny Rojas lives a life chosen by him. If they're from Ted Lasso. But I was really talking about the great life flip, where before I was completely controlled by my instinctual core. All it wanted to do was destroy the threats, avoid the threats, and attain the treats. And there were so many threats, so many bullshit threats, that it always went down to attaining that survival treat, which was alcohol, which became more important than food, which became more important than water, which became more important than breathing. As soon as I woke up, I didn't think, okay, let's start breathing. I thought, where the hell is my vodka? And then, so that's when all demands were run through the instinctual core. And this is your inputs, this is your outputs, and this is what's going on inside. You've got you, and you've got your instinctual core. I learned how to let all that fear and all those alarms it was setting off, and then sending me demands and judgments, thoughts and emotions, to get to follow through with the taking care of handling these urgent, necessary survival demands. I realized that 99% of them were bullshit, and for me, really 99.9, because I very rarely am having uh, a being attacked by a bear or someone's trying to run me over with a bus. Everything else is bullshit. Everything else does not require fear, does not require hate, anger, or sadness. The only thing that me and the instinctual core agree on is the loss of life, loss of my or knowing that I've got a permanent chronic disease, which I do not anymore. I used to have one, alcoholism, and it was killing me in so many ways, and I'd definitely be dead. And then the loss of a life, like so that would cause temporary sadness, or if someone killed a loved one, me and the instinctual core would agree that we're going to go ahead and kill them back. But other than that, everything else is cool. There's pretty much no reason to get pissed off, pretty much no reason to be scared, pretty much no reason to hate anyone. I mean, and there are people that are assholes, but they didn't really decide to become assholes. They're controlled by their own instinctual cores, and they're living that life because you know, they're Jamie Tartan. Anyways, so I'm basically moved from this life that was forced by my IC, where I was constantly in fear and frustrated and resentful, and I had to get that drink in order to shut it all off. Now I live a life of intrigue and appreciation, where I can get fully engaged in myself and in improving upon myself and improving upon the world. Uh, and oh my God, I don't need the fucking alcohol to make me happy. I live happy. Alcohol was never made me happy. It got me to get the instinctual core to send me pleasure for the false reasons, and that was immediate gratification. Went away, then I needed more, then I needed more. Now, when I'm living in the happiness drives, these are growth drives. Like, I do this and then I'm happy and then I can do more of it and get better at it and better at it. Pretty cool, right? Okay. Anyways, still kind of getting off topic. Let me get back to my goals here. Kicking ass and overcoming anxiety. I'm tracking that over here on my spreadsheet. You can, it's just a Google spreadsheet where I track the videos I'm making. Overcoming anxiety is not overcoming a social anxiety, which I overcame a long time ago in order to quit drinking. That was one of my major things. I could not walk out in society without like being worried about what I was saying, stepping out of line, not being myself. And then I decided that was a whole pecking order thing, and I just dropped the pecking order anywhere I walk in. I'm no better than anyone. I'm no worse than anyone, and everyone there is potentially my friend. It's a whole different way than I used to live. Um, and so, yeah, every day I'm doing some videos. Right now, I realize that a lot of my videos suck ass, and not because I'm doing them poorly. I'm getting better and better at speaking them every day, but basically, it's not tailored to the YouTube psychology to make sure actually people come and see these videos, which is cool because I'm practicing. But I'm kind of spending a little couple days here in delving into the science about that a little more. So, although I've been tracking at 2 videos per day, except for when I had a slip last week, this isn't a whole slip. Friday and Monday were I was out of town. Tuesday I had this big dental thing, but then Wednesday was like I came back and I was not back in my routine, and so that was a slip. But every other day for a long time, I've been doing 2 videos a day. But yesterday I spent about 7 hours just on researching and realizing that I could be doing videos that could be a lot more impactful. Anyways, so that's why right here, Tuesday, I don't have 2 videos after, and today I've got videos in the lineup, but I might still stick with just more research because uh, I've done enough where I understand it, but now I kind of want to set it up where I have the title, the thumbnail, and the and able to flow from there. Because before I was making videos and then making titles and thumbnails in reverse order, and it just sucks for getting views. Because I want to reach you and help you. Yes, that would help me. Okay. Um, anyways, that is separate from my anxiety, starting something new. That just involves me kicking ass in getting launching this IC solution. And that just involves sticking to my routine. And my routine involves clearing out all the minutia, all the space so that I have from 9 to 12 to make videos and from 12 to 4 to do everything else that it takes to get this to the world. And I've never done this before, so I'm figuring it out. And day 25, I've got my first subscriber. I know that means nothing, but it means something to me. It's like a company making its first dollar. It's like my system has got its first person paying attention to it. And once again, like I am not in the business of going out and onesie twoing it. Like say, hey, friend that has anxiety, come into my meeting. I'm in the business of spreading this to the world. So I need this need to understand social media. We've got this great digital thing where I could reach all the people of the world. You may have heard about this digital revolution. Anyways, so right now I'm doing a little. I'm doing my ignite the. So I basically ignite the mind, ignite the body. That's workout first thing in the morning. So I'm kind of energized for the day. If I miss my morning workout, the day's going to be a little shittier. And then kind of get the home in order so that's not falling apart. Get the office in order and get my mind in order to do some flow activities and meditation. I'm skipping that. I have to skip that part this week just because I'm got carpool, which I've got to get to. I gotta wrap up here, and then get on my video and then I can and here by 8 a.m. Well, I'm going to do carpool by 9 a.m. It opens up the whole day for me. So let me polish this off real quick. Unhealthy nutrition, and the exercise program together. I'm tracking those over here. look at this. All these days, I had a little bit of a slip with a muffin at 2 a.m. when it's the hardest to control your IC. Um, I tried some peanuts on Sunday, and I realized had this big thing of peanuts. I'm like, well, that's kind of what I know they're not nuts, right? I understand that peanuts are not nuts, so it's really kind of like off diet. And I had one, and then I'm like, well, I'm going to finish this whole thing. So a learning lesson, but I'm not going to give myself a slip for that. But other than that, it's been all caveman diet and just kicking ass in my workout routine. But getting back, so overall, kicking ass all over these places. Notice the priorities. These are the things I'm working on. That the highest priority in the world is something that's at 10. And when you want to really make a change in your life, you got to put it exponentially higher, up at 1,000. Say like your kids and your God, your country, whatever, are 10, the highest thing in your world. To make a big change in your life, you got to put it way up here, but just for a little bit, a month, and and to smash it into that subconscious, retrain that instinctual core. And that's what I'm doing here. And that's what I got. Okay. Peace out. Love ya.